You too.
I
You
need,
need a poop
I
stool.
need a poop stool. That's
What are
exactly
those
what I
squatty
need.
potties?
Yes, that's exactly what I
Squatty
need.
pod.
D's, squatty poddies.
Yeah. Because you're
Okay, big
podcasting.
brain. Let's
Yes.
go. Big
So
brain, big hair.
that's what we call writing collaboratively.
And this is a collaboration process.
Okay, that's how comedy writing works, though, right? It's
It's
like
true.
you
It's
just say something
collaborative.
stupid, and then somebody else catches a
Yeah.
thing, and then you fight about who gets to keep the
And you're,
joke.
well, oh, I mean, also my favorite is when you're riffing off of somebody who's not a comedian.
Oh,
I've immediately been like, hey, just so you know, I'm using that.
yeah,
Or like my friends at this point are like, you can use that. And I was
that's
like,
good.
way ahead of you.
I also love when people are like, you can use it, and you're like, oh, bitch, you don't have any say in this. You're
Yeah.
not in the business. Like,
Like,
your
not at
material
all.
just got raped the fuck out of because you don't have a
Literally.
say.
Literally, some of my best bits that I have, or at least some of my best punchlines, have just come when I'm shooting the shit with other comics.
I mean,
And we're just riffing and going back and forth. And I'm like, oh my God, that's incredible. I got to write that down.
nobody brings out the best in you like other brilliant, funny, smart
Yeah.
people that know your vibe. Like that's what's fun about green rooms.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best part of a weekend is the fucking green room and hanging out with comics
Yeah.
and it's the best.
I got so many new bits and tags and ideas just from this past weekend, just from hanging out in the green room.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's also like indicative of the other comedians like way of working because
Yeah.
you never know what you're going to get when you're in a green room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always so nice when like you can write together with comics
Yeah.
because you don't know, and you don't know how they're going to react. You don't know if they're going to get like, I'm going to do that. Or, well, I thought of it, or I brought it
Yeah.
up, because that gets annoying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, dude, whatever. We're just talking shit.
That too, and it's like about being like very particular. I like to be particular and picky when I'm actually setting aside time to sit down with someone and write.
Sure.
But like shooting the shit in the green room, it's just so nice to come up with ideas when you aren't even intentionally trying to do that.
Absolutely.
You're just like, oh, I'm just talking, I'm joking about what's happening, or maybe I'm like shooting an idea off of a bit, but the whole time I literally was like, log that away, because I'm not gonna like get out mid conversation and be like, can you hold that, and just record a voice memo. I just like, I don't know. I was like, I want to keep.
Day, this is how you know you've been doing comedy long enough.
Yeah,
because you will. One day you're gonna go. Hold on, wait a second. What did we say? Because like the
Oh,
best
yeah.
of friends will go, girl, you better write that down right now. Write it down.
Yes.
And then you move on.
Yeah.
But I definitely, people will be like, and I'll also even tell people like, no, we're not. You stop the conversation. You need to write that down because the thing is, it has to be exactly how you said it. Because it's not funny if you change one word or syllable or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what's so frustrating about comedy. It's a literal science of words. It's a math
And
problem.
it is, and when you're just like shifting stuff around, or you're like, wow, it's not. It's a math problem, and then also you're like, but if I say it with this tone or with this inflection, it hits completely differently, and it truly is just wild. Where you're like, oh, all I needed to do was like go, and then people. Are, that's it.
Explosion.
Explosion. Just that. What the fuck?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's funny too is that when you have a joke that works, like you know it works, but the people aren't ready for it. I have this joke, and I just started redoing it because of the crime in Chicago. That whole conversation is back in literally the United States.
Yeah.
Because Trump infiltrating Chicago with his fucking national ICE bullshit.
Yeah.
But as a result, like Chicagoans they're back to having that sense of humor of like Chicago's violent because like it's never as violent as they say it is on television, right? So I have this joke that it hasn't worked. I wrote it out here for here.
Yeah.
And it hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked, and then boom, ICE covers Chicago.
Yeah.
This joke suddenly works, and I wasn't expecting it, and it was crazy because it got a huge pop, and I was like, I knew it. I knew this joke worked. I knew it was the audiences this whole time, but also you need context sometimes to appreciate material.
But also, like, how fucked up is it that it took ICE coming here for the audiences to be like, oh, I get it.
That's what's funny about comedy.
Crazy.
Timing is truly everything, and it's not just like comedic timing. Sometimes it's like societal timing of like when material works and when it doesn't.
That's funny that you say that too, because there are several Trump jokes and Trump adjacent jokes where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, and now I've slowly been starting to like cycle them back, and they work, and
of course.
Like, okay, I guess we're here.
Easy money.
But it's just like but now it's like political jokes that I had particularly around like the civil rights movement and stuff, sometimes would only, for the most part, hit in Black rooms.
Sure.
And now I've been trying, I'm like, well, this is happening in Chicago. Let's see what the whites have to say about this. Let's see if they laugh. And they're loving it too.
Of
and I'm
course.
like, okay, are you guys like woke now? Like,
yeah,
what?
It's interesting.
Like, this
though.
is crazy.
People shift and change, their perspectives change, and their humor changes. It's kind of awesome. But that's what's cool about the power of writing is like sometimes you are ahead of your time and you don't know when the time is, but you got to hit with the right material. But that's why it's like it's important to work on your writing. And I feel like a lot of comics, they give up on material because they think, well, it's not working. But it's like, no, you have to listen to your comedic instincts. But yeah, comedy is dead because of writing.
Comedy is very dead. It's dead because of writing.
Because of writing, like people aren't committed to it. People don't work on their writing like they used to, in my opinion. People are so ready to churn out first the social media algorithm, which is funny because I think the general consensus right now is social media is bad. The algorithm is bad. No one's happy. No one's getting what they want.
It's horrible.
And I'm like, ooh, what's gonna happen in like comedy and entertainment now that there's this algorithmic shift happening?
Yeah, the algorithm sucks right now. I've been trying to be more disciplined when it comes to churning out something on social media, but every time I'm like, go back to writing. Like every single time I post a clip or I cut up a clip, I'm like, try to refine your jokes. And sometimes I've had to intentionally stop myself from consistently writing new bits and trying to at least set aside time to go back and refine the bits that I do have. But it's just, I don't know if you feel that way. Like have you ever felt like overwhelmed where you're like, I have all these new ideas, these new premises that you're excited about, but you're like, I also need to spend time like refining and punching up the stuff that I know works.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the beauty of performing and working and staying out. That's the best time to be out and about working on stuff and dropping into people's shows, and because you're excited about your material. And the only thing stopping you is sometimes performing, right? So the more you perform, the more you can try new material, refine what you have, because that sometimes I think the other issue with comics that maybe when you're new is that you want to like rush through material, right? You want it like you're excited to perform your material, right? But the bad influence that I've noticed from, I'm not really sure how it started or where it started, but these long pauses and these long explanations and the verboseness that happens when you don't self-edit. And it's really frustrating because comics will watch their material, turn it into a perfectly cut up algorithmic friendly video, and I'm like, oh, but if you edit in real life, you wouldn't have to chop up your video as much. And that goes back to like working on your material in real life, you know?
Yeah, that's actually so real. I guess that makes sense too, because even when I've like cut up clips, I've been trying to be anti cutting stuff up in the middle because I'm like, no. Like there was like a 1.5-minute clip and I was like, nope, you're going to get this full thing.
Yeah.
Because I want, like, if we're going to do social media with clips, I kind of want us to just go back to this is what you would see if you saw it live. There's not going to be a picture in the corner. There's not going to be like sound effects underneath. Like if you saw me live, this is what you're going to get. And if you appreciate that, great. If you don't, also great. And I feel like social media is kind of like, fuck that.
Absolutely. Yeah. People are like, they're feeding the ADHD monster that lives within everyone nowadays. And I had somebody who was like, you know how you get those offers that people are like, I'll make videos for you, which is fine and dandy and everything. But people always want to like spruce it up.
Yeah.
And I had someone who spruced up a video of mine. And I'm against it. I'm like, no, I don't want these people who think that this is what stand-up is going to look like when they come, because you're going to be disappointed. Yeah. Like, it's going to be a little slower than that. I mean, even the fastest comedian doesn't work as a fast clip online with pictures and shit, you know, because you're so distracted. And I'm like, no, that's why you drink at the comedy clubs, because it makes it funnier. You don't need the fucking images of everybody, okay?
Yeah. No, I try not to cut up the clip.
Good
like
for
that.
you. That's rare.
Oh my God. I'm a rare breed. A rare bird. I'm curious to know what your writing process is, though.
I mean, my writing processes are different, and I don't have like one technique.
Yeah.
That like everything has. I approach it with as an open mind as possible.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like the other day, there's like 2 jokes that I wrote separately, and I've been wanting to marry them, but I've been having a hard time trying to figure out how to weave them in and out of each other because it's kind of heavier topics, but funny topics.
Marrying jokes is like the next. You're like a chemist. I feel
Oh,
like when you're marrying jokes, you're like, I know it's there. I just haven't found the right formula.
Oh my God. You know what is crazy is I remember marrying a joke and riffing something on top of marrying the joke.
Yeah.
The two jokes I had, I riffed something right in the center to like attach them, like almost like a callback, and I was like, oh my God. I did it on stage. It was crazy. I was like,
I love those fucking moments. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're like, I'm a professional. This is why they pay the big bucks. But I just did it like last, like, you know, I haven't been performing. I'm on a break. I've been on a break, and it's been really nice. And I tried to, yes, thank you. Yes, you all need to take breaks. Everybody take a damn break.
Breaks are important.
Breaks are very important. And live your life, and then the material will hit you. But I was like, whatever, cleaning them bacon and doing whatever around the apartment. And then all of a sudden I was like, and I ran to my notebook, and I just was like, I think I messed up the first one. I was like, wait a minute, no, it has to be. And I just started, and sometimes it's like, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 to try to puzzle it together, a little puzzle. But for whatever reason, it finally clicked. Yeah. And I cannot wait to try it tomorrow when I'm performing, because I'm like, I finally... jokes that work, and I know they connect, and I finally was able to connect them, and I feel like it's gonna be really smooth, and I'm so fucking excited.
I love those. It truly is like, I feel like those moments, and then obviously the moments when you're killing on stage, it's like it's a high.
Oh yeah,
it is an absolute high, because I feel like Raven Simone, and That's a Raven, when she like has a vision, and like if I'm high and all of a sudden I'm like bing, I have to like scurry to my room and like immediately write this down, and then I'll just walk and pace back, and I don't know if you're a pacer, but like I just walk and talk to myself, like I pace back and forth in my apartment.
It's not that I pace, it's that I do shit.
Oh, you do shit.
You know, the good thing about ADHD is when you are thinking of something, you can get shit done, like cleaning and because you're so focused on the like thought that you're having that you can clean the toilet. Really, like you don't even think about it. It's not disgusting because you're just like, well, this is not part of the joke, but you know, so it's like it's kind of the best. Yeah, one of the best features of ADHD. But in terms of like writing from scratch,
what's
I mean,
that like?
Sometimes it's one line or an idea or a person or a name or something, and I just build from there. Yeah, and building can take forever. It can be nothing. It's also why I love having a notebook and writing it down. Yeah, because dude, I have notebooks. I mean,
Do you write anything on your phone? I'm curious.
I do.
How old school are you?
I do. Yeah, but I've also learned to move them. Into my notebooks. Oh, okay. Because it's like I don't trust the phones. Like I mean, I've been using my phone since I was 17 years old. Like I know that you can lose everything, and it's not worth just keeping it in your phone. Have you done that? Have you lost material?
No, I haven't, but I'm like actually afraid, because when I tell you, I started recently writing stuff in a notebook, but not as in depth as in my phone. Sure. Because I guess I could lose it because I take a lot of voice memos. Oh, okay. I take a lot of voice memos.
And do you transcribe those?
I don't transcribe them because I just it's like I don't have time, and like sure. I'm a faster typer than I am like actually like writing stuff out, and I can't read my own handwriting. So
do you need the voice notes because you want to hear how you're inflecting on things, or do you do it?
Yeah. So pretty much for every show I have a voice memo. Sure. And if I have an idea or a thought, I will just record a voice memo for it. And then after listening back to the show, like whenever I get to it, that's when I start to transcribe in my notes. So I'm like, oh, okay, this worked. I heard this with this audience thing. Like, this is how that worked.
So do you ever transcribe, like being, like, doing the voice-to-text stuff?
Oh.
That's, like, the best way to do it.
Oh, I haven't done voice-to-text.
It's one of the best ways to do it.
Because I just do voice memos.
Think about it. You're reciting it as if you're doing it, so it's starting to go into your brain. You can hear the mistakes often. Yeah. If you, like, say, like... And so I also went down to and it starts to transcribe it. You're saying it, and you can catch the mistakes. You can catch where it's not funny. You can catch what words need replacing. It's a very efficient way of transcribing material.
Okay, well, my mind has been blown.
You're welcome, y'all.
My mind has been blown. That's why we come to this podcast. We learn things.
You learn things.
We learn things.
You learn things.
That's a okay. Good tip.
Yeah,
it away.
I'm telling you, there's ways to improve, and like, but you have to talk to other comics.
That's so
great about talking to other comics.
That's so fascinating. Because what I've been trying to do is like, because I have so many voice memos that when I sit down to like transcribe them or just listen to them and learn from them, I will listen to a recent one and then I'll go all the way back. Like I have ones from like 2021.
Sure.
And I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about there?
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm like, ooh, that was rough.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm like, oh, I can't believe I lost that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this in now.
So that's what I do with my notebooks.
Exciting. Yeah.
Because well, that's what I was saying earlier. I've been doing comedy almost 20 years. I have notebooks from when I started. Like the ignorant shit that's in these notebooks is there's fucking evidence of every slur I've ever used, every dumb racist thought I've ever had exists in a notebook in my apartment. Anybody wants to sabotage me, blackmail me, break into my apartment and steal my notebooks. There's so much ignorant shit in those notebooks, but there's a lot of gems. Yeah. Some of the ignorant shit has something I can work with. Yeah. And I've been like, I think I mentioned this earlier in one of the earlier episodes where it's like when I first moved out here, I knew I was going to have all my notebooks out of storage because I haven't looked at them in years. Yeah. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do when I go to Chicago. I'm going to look through some of my notebooks and whenever I have a show and I don't know what I want to talk about new, but because also I get into these like brain dead eras of like, I'll go months and I just I won't think about, I hate comedy. I don't want to do it, but I have gigs and I have to work. Yeah. So how do I work on new material? Pull an old notebook, find something, and there's always something. There. That's so interesting. And I'll be like, well, fuck, let me do that. Let me do that old joke, or let me remix it, or let me come up with a new version of this joke. And then I can just, it's almost like my own writing assignments I've given to myself. Yeah. And they're nuggets that I've already started. You know?
Writing assignment that I gave to myself, which was something that you had mentioned, you may have mentioned on an earlier pod, but you had told me that another comic had told you to like move your closer to the beginning. Mm-hmm. So this past weekend, I have like 2 closers that I go back and forth between. So I was like, okay, I'm going to move one of them to the top. Like, let's just see. And like, fuck it if I'm not liking it. I'm like, this is good. Like, okay. And I'm fine. And I have found new ways to marry smaller jokes that I've had into that joke as like an opener up top.
Yeah, that's great.
And then just going into the close, because I felt like for that closer in particular, I was like, it feels like a little too hot to start up top with that. So it forced me to try and find something else to add on top of that to like kind of like open up the little booty holes up top, you know? But I was like, I gotta tell Marcella I did this.
I love it.
I did it.
That's great.
It was great. And I love it. Now I'm like, okay, I want to lean with this for a little bit and see like what happens. And now I'm just kind of like reordering and reshifting my other shit.
I love it. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
See what happens when you listen to this podcast,
we
guys.
Learn things, guys.
You gotta learn things. You work on things. You try things. You get a little more bravery, a little bolder. Yeah. Okay. You're welcome, bitch.
You're fucking welcome. I am curious though, because you said you hit like there's like a patch sometimes where you like don't want to write or you're like not into comedy. Like how do you handle that? Because I also kind of hit those patches
I lean on the material that works.
Okay.
The 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever it is. It's working. I know it works.
Just like
I got the tall stuff. I got the short boyfriend stuff. I got the silly family jokes. I have this long story that you know, because I will say after doing now comedy for so long, there's like long stories I have that aren't anywhere. They're not recorded, so they technically don't exist. Yeah. And I can pull them out whenever I want. Like I have, you know, this Halloween chunk that I've been doing for years. I've been doing it probably 15 years. Yeah. But every year around Halloween,
you bring it out.
I bring it out.
That's why I have a Black History Month joke too. I'm like, it's fucking February.
It's fucking February, and bring it out. And you can update it. True. And you can whatever, political, social. There's always something going on that you can update it, and it's great because every year is the same, right? You have the same schedule. There's always like summertime shit. There's always winter shit.
That's
so there's like chunks of material that you can rely on, whatever they are. You figure it out, right? You can do like, my family jokes, easy one-liners, whatever they are. And I'll rely on those, and then I'll do some technique of like, okay, well, let me at least do one new joke. Okay. And then, and sometimes the crowd work it's a great time to practice crowd work when you don't know what you want to talk about. Great time to practice crowd work because, hey, you should all be good at crowd work. I know people have like a lot of strong opinions about why crowd work right now sucks, and it does, and I think it is oversaturated, but you should still be good at it. And so when you are stuck in a rut, but you know you're funny and you want to talk a little shit, spend a little percentage of your stage time. That's how I got better at crowd work. I had a comic I was dating at the time. He was like, "You're so good at talking shit. How come you don't do crowd work?" And I was like, "I don't want to talk to the crowd." And he was like, "Just talk to them a little bit every time." And I was like, "No." And then he was like, "Dude, if you have like a 10-minute set, just talk to them for 1 minute. If you have a 15-minute set, talk to them for 3 minutes." And I was like, "Interesting. I never thought about it that way."
If you break it down like
if
that.
you break it down like that, right in the center, and then it's like, boom, now your set's a little meatier. Whether it worked or not, it's actually irrelevant because you do want to practice something new when you aren't practicing something new that you've written. And I that's like a good way to like work on crowd work when you don't want to work on written material, but you have 10, 12, 15 minutes that you know works, but you're not excited about it. You don't care about it. You're a fucking robot delivering it. That's all normal shit. And I mean, there's even comics when they're preparing for their specials, they get tired of their material and they want to do new shit and and it's like, it's so frustrating to like that push and pull that you have. But there is those moments that a lot of comics don't want to admit, but like sometimes you don't want to perform, you don't want to do anything. The thing that keeps you fresh is crowd work or new impression. Like that's when I'll work on new impressions and stuff.
God, your impressions.
Yeah, and it's fun. Good. Like, going back to that, when you saw me do that, it was that. I was tired of my material. I was like, oh, I can just dedicate 5 minutes to talking to the audience and just shouting impressions. And it was one of the funnest things I did for a while when I was on tour, was taking 5 minutes out of my set to just talk to the crowd and see what kind of stupid fucking impressions that they would request. And I was disgusted to find out it was like a lot. I think we've just talked about it, but a lot of Trump. And I was like, oh my God, this is so wild. But doing that also prepped me because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this every show. I need to have a one-liner ready every time.
Every time you hit that.
And it was cool because it was like, because I think the first time, second time, third time, you go, what is it with? Why do you guys? What? And then it was like, oh, this is every show, so I need to like have something in the ready to be mean or funny or whatever to keep it moving. But yeah, you just find what you enjoy doing when you don't enjoy writing in that moment, because it'll come back to you. And that's the other funny thing is, like, even if you're not writing, if you're sitting in the green room and you're hanging out with comics, you're gonna talk shit, something's gonna happen, and you're gonna get that little, you know what, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that thing.
I'm gonna march right up on stage and I'm gonna say that.
I'm gonna say that thing. And then you do, and you're like, dude, I had nothing new, and just talking to you, Chloe, made me want to do this thing. That's why it's like, that's why you go out of the house, even when you don't feel like writing or necessarily performing something new. You will be rejuvenated by your community. You will be rejuvenated by the audience. You will be rejuvenated by like the potential for you to fuck around. It's so fun to like write on the fly, but it's also so great to sit down and go, no, there's this idea I've been working on. Let me write it out, or however, let me talk it out. Let me pace the house. Like there is no wrong way to write. I think any approach, and the better you get at like wanting to approach all the different ways, the faster you get to writing really, really strong material.
I have to say, I feel like I mean, obviously, like with reps and stuff, but I feel like I've gotten a lot faster at getting to a new premise, a new joke quicker. And I do like being able to just like I call it like treating myself. I'm like, you know what? You're gonna do the classics.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the classics, and you're gonna treat yourself to a new bit in the middle.
Yeah.
And if it fails, that's fine, because you got the classics to bring it up. And also for crowd work too, like, because I'm trying to get better at crowd work, and I've tried to have, like, if I'm going to do a little bit of crowd work, I have an instant one-liner. Like, I go through, like, all the generations, and anytime they shout it out, because they all get so, they're like, yes, me, I'm 50. And then I just have, like, a one-liner after that, and it's like, oh, and I'm like, it's a hack. It feels like a hack, but also, like, I'm having fun, and then it also looks like they're having fun, so I'm like, okay, mission accomplished.
I feel like a lot of times when you're like, oh, I'm an artist, and I'm not being true to the art and the technique, you also have to remember, it's Friday night.
Yeah, that's true.
People are drunk.
Yeah.
They're dressed up. They're on a first date. They're on a 100th date. they just want to have fun. Like, you
Yeah.
also need to be remembering that, you need to have fun, but you also need to provide some fun for people.
Yeah.
Whatever that means for you. I'm not saying you all need to be clowns up there.
Yeah.
Because, everyone's writing style is different. We wanted to keep this one short,
know,
but
it's
I
crazy.
feel like we're just gonna go a little long, which is fine.
I always like to like give a little, take a little with the audience to be like, okay, this is what I'm sensing that y'all need right now. So let me give it to you, and then we kind of go back to something that I really think is funny that I kind of want to do, and then just kind of like it feels like almost like a push pull situation.
Absolutely.
If you're trying to figure out where this audience is, unless they are your audience, and you just do whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
But yeah, I have enjoyed trying to get better at crowd work in particular. But yeah, I have no rhyme or reason like writing process at all. I'll be like about to go to bed at 1 a.m. and then I will just like jolt up with an idea and then I'll be up for 2 hours.
I think a lot of stand-ups, that's how we are. Our brains are just ready for a joke at any time, and you never know if you're even ready for it.
Yeah.
And I have jokes that I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny, and then you forget about it.
It's just the fucking worst too.
It's the worst, but also who cares?
Yeah.
You have jokes forever. But in regards to writing techniques, so many years ago, I was very fortunate to have Lori Kilmartin as a mentor.
Oh, nice.
And she didn't know what that meant, which was funny.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later episode. But she's always giving people ways to improve their writing online, or at least she used to. I don't know how much she's doing that anymore.
Yeah.
But one of the fucking things that she told me when I was like, I think I was submitting for late night for the first time, and I asked her like, "Do you have any advice for like submitting a writing packet?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, when you watch their monologue, write out their jokes that you're watching, the jokes that they're telling, and write out every single joke. You'll see a pattern." And she's like, "Whatever that pattern is, copy it, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to see if you know how to write for this person."
Yeah.
And because not a lot of people do. They think, I'm going to write my political joke or my topical joke or my social joke exactly how I want to do it, when in reality you're supposed to do it for that person.
For that person, yeah.
And that's like the easiest hack you could do for
I had heard that before. Not like writing out everything, but like the advice of like, remember, you're writing for them.
Right.
Not for you.
You're writing for them, not for you. It's a job. But that's the way to do it, is to write when they're doing their monologue. If you're writing for monologue jokes, but like you write out, and it's such a trip, and you're like, oh my God, it's like you start to you feel like the fucking Christmas Story kid with the decoder. You're like, oh my God, this fucking scam. Yeah, this is a scam. This is a scam.
You mean anybody can do this if they know the code?
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
And I always thought that was cool. And I had a great packet. Like, I remember being like, this packet is fucking awesome. That doesn't mean I'm going to get it, because that's also not how it works. It doesn't matter if your packet is great. There's always some other shit going on.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, oh, okay, so I could do this if I wanted to, but do I want to do this every day? Probably not.
Yeah, that's also a realization too, like as a writer, when you like look at all the different avenues and then you really have to sit down and be like, wait, do I want to do this forever? Because like you think like, oh yeah, it'd be so cool to write for late night, but then you're like, but every night I write for a white man? Oh, don't think I want to do that. Yeah. But like money's money.
Money's money.
So like, and it works for some people too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I think like going back to writing processes, it's also about finding what works for you.
That's right.
And to just like keep going, like to keep writing. Whatever works for you, like lean into that. But there really is no right or wrong way when it comes to writing.
Right. And what I find interesting too is that just when you think you know the path you're going down, fucking you get a job offer, you get something coming at you that you're like, well, fuck, I'm gonna take this.
Yeah.
Because I've only technically, in terms of the WGA, the Writers Union, I've only had 2 writers' jobs, but I've taken a bunch of here's and there's to make money. And after those 2 writing jobs, it took me a long. I stayed in the union for quite a few years after that. But man, I was like, you know what? I hated this. I don't. Anytime like my agents would send me, or manager would send me like writing packet submissions, I'd be like, this is awful. This is such a. I don't want to do. This is not where I want to spend my time.
Yeah.
And then if the writing packet is brutal, that means the fucking job is going to be god awful.
Yeah.
Because you have to look at the writing packet as like the little teaser for what's to come. And some of the writing packets are
Well, it's
intense.
like an interview process. Like
it is.
If the interview for any job is asking you to do all these things for an interview, you're like, okay, do I want to work there?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotta really love wanting to write for television,
Yeah.
And I didn't have the passion for it. I also feel like I stumbled into the 2 jobs I got.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, ugh. And I will say one of the funniest things, because when I worked for Bill Nye, Bill Nye Saves the World on Netflix.
Love him.
It was really, yeah, he was great. It was cool. One of the funniest things was like my pitches. Anytime I pitched anything, it just never hit. It never hit. Nobody liked it. Bill didn't like it. The other writers were just like, ah.
Yeah.
And I was always like, man, this is fucking, I hate this.
Yeah.
And so then I just started getting ridiculous with my pitches. And that's when I got something in the show, was when I made a ridiculous pitch.
Yeah.
It was one of those, like, everyone was giggling about it. And Bill was like, why are you guys laughing?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I have this crazy pitch. And he was like, well, let's hear it. And I was like, you're going to hate it. And he was like, well, let's hear it. And it was like, we had a water episode.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill's whole thing is like, the next war is going to be about water.
Yeah.
He's like, we're losing water. Like, it's this really great episode. I got my water sommelier, former manager at LECMA, to be on that show.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool. They did a water tasting. Anyhow. But the pitch was, we live in a world that has like no water.
Yeah.
And there's this young woman who is really depressed because she comes from a long line of wet t-shirt contest winners. And she's sad because we don't live in a world with water, and her dream is to just be in a wet t-shirt contest. And they fucking did it. Bill was like, I love it. It's so funny. We got Jillian Bell in it. What? It was crazy. I was on set helping direct, and I was like, this is nuts.
That's crazy. The most wildish thing that you fucking pitched, and they were like, this is incredible.
For a science show.
Sorry.
Yeah. We have Jillian like getting sand thrown at her. And what was cool was, even though it was my pitch, and I did an attempt at a draft, but we ended up writing it collaboratively, and I thought that was better, because I was like, sometimes I have a great idea, but I'm like, the structure of how it's better for television is not my forte.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Also, I love collaborating on writing, though, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's great, too. I know, like, some comedians are, like, anti it, which I think is weird.
Well, let me tell you something about the writers' rooms. They're so competitive. People will, like, sabotage your shit. They'll do everything they can to make sure your material is not getting in the script, or if something gets cut out of the script, they make sure it's only your shit. It's a nightmare. I did not have fun.
Yeah, I'm not.
Writers are kind of nightmares, is what I learned.
I'm not built for that.
No, I'm just not built for, like, not trying to make the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Because I got into it with one of the writers at Bill Nye. We really hate each other to this day.
Oh, damn.
And it was one of those things where it was like, every time she and I worked together, or I worked on something and submitted it, she always tried to find a way to get my shit off. She was just a hater. She was just old-fashioned, older white lady.
Yeah.
You know, is used to being the only woman in the room. And we had, like, hella women writers, but I was the only woman comedy writer with her.
Yeah.
And she felt super threatened. And it was one of those things where I was like, bitch, we could just work together, but she didn't want to. And that's what you get with some of these old school
writers. They just want their shit, not the funniest shit. Their shit.
Yeah, I just want their shit, not the funniest shit.
Up.
It was really frustrating. It was really disheartening. I also dealt with that when I did that Drop the Mic, that rap battle show. It was like really frustrating working with people who were just so consumed with being like, no, mine is the best. And it's like, but is it though?
Yeah. And also, it's okay if it isn't. Like, it's okay. Like, what? Like, at that point, you got to ask yourself, like, what are we trying to achieve here? Like, are we trying to produce funny shit? Or are you only, like, concerned about, which, if you are only concerned about yourself, I mean, okay, go off.
But that's the thing. That is how people, like, advance in that world, is that they're ruthless, they're fucking cutthroat, and they'll do what it takes. And it's really frustrating because, like, that's how I'm built. I'm not built like that.
Yeah.
I come from a world of, like, let's have 20 women on the show. Let's do it, everybody.
Yeah.
We're having a great time. But they're just like, it's me. It's my idea. And it's like, oh, really?
Because you're such a fucking dweeb and a loser.
It's really,
like
that's what it was.
Like, grow up.
I think that's what I didn't like about Writer's Room. There's too many dweebs.
Yeah. Because at that point, it's like, what are we in high school? What are we in college? Like, I agree with you.
Some self-esteem, writers.
For real. And it's like, nothing I love more than just like having like mini writing sessions with other comics that you trust and that you love, and that you are truly helping each other out, like collaborating and be like, oh, I think you should punch up here. Like, what do you hear when you hear this? Or like, this isn't working. Like, that type of shit. Like, I could I'm not built for that type of writer's room
No,
at
I'm
all.
not either. And
Nah.
it's also, I feel very lucky because I have so many stand-up comedian headliner friends who like, they hit me up when they want writing advice or they want me to
Yeah.
watch something and help them because they're just like, they know that I see through the bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's one of my greatest honors. It's like how many comedy specials I've helped write on. And I have a few comedy special thank yous, like Nicole Byer, Beth Stelling. Wait, I know there's someone else. And I'm just like, man, it's so nice that like people give me a shout out. Because I do help. I think the only well, I won't say who, but I help someone and they never give me a shout out, but he doesn't shout out anybody.
Well, I guess
and then
it's consistent.
What?
I guess he's consistent.
He's consistent. Yeah, he's a man. He's a man. And it's fine. I pay my bills with that shit, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up. But I just love helping writing. I like to watch something improve and be funnier because I was like, go in this direction or say this or use this word because sometimes that's all it is. I mean, Nicole Byer special, all I did was tell her to slow down.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
You're rushing through material because you're tired of it.
Yeah.
Like what I was saying. People get tired of their material that they just rush through, and it's like, girl, you're taping a special. Be excited.
Yeah.
Take your time. And she was so glad because she was like, well, fuck. Yeah. You're buying me more time if I slow down. I was like, yeah, girl, because you're going to, because there is such thing as like going fast enough with the jokes, but then there's like just get blowing through the shit and not give, because I was like, you're not letting these people react. Like there's one thing pausing for an applause break. There's another thing of like just plowing too quickly through laughter and we're
and that makes me think of too, because like nobody has like made me more in awe of like boom 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 than Jay Jordan.
Oh yeah.
And he has a new special out. Everybody should watch it.
Yeah,
watch
streaming
his new
on
special.
Hulu. My mama said
right there for that moment I caught myself in the camera and I felt like a bro on a podcast.
Yeah, I was looking at you and I was like, I think she's getting more masculine as the episode goes. Just
I literally looked up and I was like, am I a man doing a podcast?
I mean, yeah.
In a fucking sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And jeans. Let me sit up. This is fucking embarrassing. Oh my god. This is embarrassing.
We could end it here.
We could. Let me talk about Jay Jordan for a second. That's embarrassing. He deserved better than me slouching like a fucking straight ass man.
Well, I mean, you're slouching like the dyke that you are. And that's honoring Jay.
Actually, that's so
community.
real. Jay, I was honoring you actually that entire time. But no, I will never forget when I saw him live. And I mean, I had seen like his like mini like specials, like he did like a Don't Tell one, but I saw him do a whole hour live. And the way, like, his form of just, like, boom, 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 like, there was no rest. And I don't know how he does it. But, like, clearly when I hear him talk, I was like, oh, this is just, like, kind of, like, probably who he is as a person.
Sure.
But, yeah, I was like, he doesn't need to take a breath. But he's also really good at, like, knowing when the punchline is. And, like, pausing and, like, kind of, like, doing that little eye thing. And it's just, I was like, that's not how I would tell my stand-up because that's just not who I am.
Right.
But the punch-ups were just so fucking good that I was like, that's what I want to translate into my shit. Is like how good he was. Like every 1, 2, 3 punchline, 1, 2, 3 punchline. I was like, that's the shit that I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you haven't watched Jay Jordan special,
it's very funny. Watch it. Maybe we can talk about it more on another episode. But you know what I want to say, because Jay did not invent that style, right? That has existed. That's like super 80s to be like boom, 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 boom.
Probably makes sense why I don't know it because I didn't watch.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, I mean, that's what's interesting about that is that his style of comedy used to be like the number one style of comedy. It's very club. It's very mainstream, and it got lost. And there's been this like influx of people pausing for applause, not tightening, like what we were saying, not tightening their material, not working on it. And it's been such a disaster watching so many comedians take that style and run with it, but not what Jay is doing, which is one of the more OG versions of the comedy boom in the 80s. But also, there have always been that pacing, but the A's was when it was like, the Coke. It was the Coke, like they were like, Everybody always had like a little gesture or like a, what's it called, a catchphrase or, and Jay has just kind of taken that style and mastered it.
Yeah.
And it's been cool to watch him sprinkle that all across the country because it's overdue for that style to come back.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited because I won't say that that's what I do because it's not, but I can do it because I came up in the comedy clubs. In San Francisco, where the '80s comedy boom was really thriving.
Yeah.
And I love watching Jay because he's so old school and new school. It's such a mind fuck. It's so refreshing, and I think it's great for audiences, new audiences, young comics. But I'm so glad it's finally we're getting comics that
his shit is so tight.
It's so tight. He works so
tight.
hard, and it's great. And yeah, watch Jay Jordan's latest special. It's on Hulu. My mama said it's very funny. But yeah, that is this week's episode. Comedy is dead because of writing. Guys, get your writing on. Work on your writing. Stop pausing so much.
Yeah.
And you'll be a better comic for it. Anything else you want to add?
No. Keep writing. Keep writing. Keep writing. Just fucking do it. Yeah, I'm a guy now. I'm a full dyke now. So yeah. Just fucking keep it up. Keep writing now. And never give up. And
oh my God, you're so cute.
Oh my God, stop it, honey. Stop it. Stop it. You're making me blush. Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for checking us out. I hope you learned something new. I hope you're gonna maybe you'll listen to comedy a little differently if you're a fan.
Oh my God.
But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Have a good one. Bye.